Here comes Marcus Epps, able to get in, has a step on Lawrence. Epps trying to shield him away, saved by Meara!
Beautiful save by Ryan Meara!
In behind it goes for Caicedo, saved by Meara, coming off his line.
This is perfection when it comes to goalkeeping.
Your tenure has been certainly interesting. What does it still feel like to be a member of this organization, and kind of how you've had those peaks and valleys, ups and downs? In a way, I would almost say you could relate it probably psychologically to what's going on right now within the world. You're used to highs and lows. You're used to almost a world of uncertainty.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I think no matter what you do in life, whatever your profession is, there's ups and downs. Life's going to throw you curveballs, and I think it's just about how you react to them. And so, you know, I remember Dax was joking with me after my third or fourth year in the league. He was like, man, you've, in a short span of time, you've experienced everything there is to experience. You've started, had success, had a massive injury, missed, 10, 12 months. You were the backup for a year or two, and then you went on loan to NYCFC. He's like, that happens sometimes in the span of 10, 12, 15-year careers, and you've had it in 3 years or so.
What a big day it is for this young man. Not only a test of his nerve and his ability, but can he communicate to his back four over the noise of these vuvuzelas?
Ryan Meara will feel a little bit happier about life now. What a connection.
Throughout my career, there's certain moments, certain games that definitely stand out. One is always going to be your debut. You'll never, ever forget that. I remember down in Dallas, I was so nervous. Then your home debut, I'll never forget that one. We played Colorado. I think we beat them 4-1.
Immediately get in, and he's done it!
Henry had a hat trick and an assist, just, a walk in the park for him, a typical day. And I remember I had like 200 or 300 of my family and friends there. They had their own section. So Henry has a hat trick and an assist. And I had a regular game. It was pretty straightforward. And I think I won man of the match, it was like 99% or something, Ryan.
Sounds like a rigged vote, Ryan.
Absolutely.
FC Cincinnati, the home team tonight, semifinals of the U.S. Open Cup. This one, Steve, in a word, fun.
The Open Cup semifinal in Cincinnati, that was special. Just the way, you were out there, Matt. That stadium was unreal that night. And the way the game unfolded, I think we were on top of them for most of the game, but they just had a little magic in them, They scored 2 pretty good goals, and with 15 minutes left, the place is buzzing, and we had every excuse to just kind of give up and say, all right, it wasn't our night, but, we battled back.
Stoico looks at his watch. He blows the whistle, and the New York Red Bulls are into the finals of the U.S. Open Cup for the first time since 2003.
Just the way it unfolded to win it in overtime was so special. And then the other game for me is the Atlanta game that I started when Luis got hurt. And, it's just a special night for me. Listen, I've said it before, as the backup keeper, it can be frustrating, but when your time does come, there's no excuse to not be ready. So you just have to step in and not only hold your own, but add to the team and play well. And that was definitely a special game for me, for sure.
Noonan steps up to the shot. Meara saves it off the crossbar and out as they'll host the USL Cup final next week.
One of the highlights of your career here at Red Bull came in kind of a weird moment. You think back to the USL run to the championship.
Yeah, that was special. I think that was like a pivotal season in my career. I came back from NYCFC when I was on loan. My whole career I've been involved with the first team every game, and that just felt like a big step in the wrong direction. So I was pissed. And then, as we got a couple games into the USL season, I realized we had an incredible team. You see guys like a young Tyler, Derek, Aaron Long, Flo, Vince. We had a great team, and you realize that pretty soon. And then 2, I needed the games. I hadn't played a full season of games since I had gotten hurt at that point. I'm proud of that season. I was the captain of that team, and we had so much success. And now I'm even more proud to see all the guys who have gone on to have so much individual success. I wouldn't change it for a thing. It's helped me be the player and the person I am today.
Chris always says, he talks about us looking like us and being like us. Let's fucking look like us today. Let's beat them up physically, and that'll set the tone for everything else we got to do, all right? 11 for 11 today. Come on, boys.
You know, you mentioned a couple of times over the last couple of answers, Luis Robles, who you played with, worked with, backed up for a considerable amount of time. You having the opportunity to take over for him going into the 2020 season. But just think back about the relationship that you had.
You know, I've touched on it in the past. It's been always a healthy competition, and I was his biggest fan. He was mine. Those games, any game I would play, whether it was Open Cup or Red Bull 2 or, you know, the stretch of games I got when he went out with his knee a couple of years ago, he's the first one texting me after the game, texting me before the game, wishing me good luck. And, you know, we rooted for each other. And I think that's a testament to the culture at Red Bull.
Guys, a couple of things. Ryan Meara, where are you? Ryan, do you have any words for the group?
We look like us. We won the battle and we win the game. It's great from everyone.
You gotta take a lesson from him. How he's got to wait his turn and when he takes it the way he did.
And at the end of the day, every year, the team is different. Anytime you catch an old game, especially a big win, you look back on the memories of that night, how it felt. But then you also think back and you think of each of the guys that aren't here anymore who have moved on. And it just gives you, I don't know, it gives you like a warm, fuzzy feeling because you remember, especially the good teams with the good guys and where we had, you know, successful seasons.
Ryan, the preseason for you was a good one right up there until the end. You suffered the injury in that last preseason game. I would think a month's worth of rest has actually done you pretty good.
Yeah, it was disappointing. Obviously, it was definitely disappointing. To pick up this little knock in preseason, especially in the last game, the second half of the last game of preseason. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I had tears in my eyes walking off the field. I mean, you were there, right, Matt? Like I was devastated. So, but what are you gonna do, man? It's just how it is sometimes. And yeah, like you said, this month has given me, you know, more than enough time to get my body right. I think that's just the nature of the business a little bit. I've just tried to enjoy it along the way. And you know, especially like you talk about, you know, in times like this where life is, you know, this is obviously a tough time. And I look at my girlfriend's a nurse at NYU in the city. My dad's a fireman. My brother's a cop. And he actually tested positive a couple weeks ago. He's good now, but they're working on the front lines, putting themselves in danger. So, you know, if I have a bad, you know, injury or, you know, I don't play well, I'm on a bench or something, like, how can I complain too much when I get to kick a ball for a living?